Okay, we are under the gun +1 with a decent hand. As I've oriented towards tighter pre-flop play, you might occasionally find me folding these under the gun or under the gun +1. It is heads up, so I think betting the flop is better than checking the flop, but obviously you might notice I've got a couple of hands going on tables number 1 and 2 as I was playing this, and I've decided to check it. It works out for me in a goofy kind of way. So we've checked back top pair, top kicker, and a nut gut shot. He has a small blind cold calling range in which he has seen us check back the flop, and he's bet into us on the turn. Now, I'm not going to go into the painstaking level of Pro Poker Tools analysis that I have on the last couple of hands with the interest of getting you more actual hands in this content, but we don't need to run any numbers to see that there's a whole host of draws that have missed. The club draws, the 8, 9, 10 draws, the 6 8s, the 4 6 8s, the 4 6. Yeah, so we've got, I don't want to say a world of draws, but we've got many draws that have potentially missed. And look at how he sees our hand. We haven't been able to bet a diamond flush draw on the flop, so it's not that likely that we have it. Now, if we think about his hand, he's going to show up with some occasional monsters like queens or kings with a flush draw that he was betting for protection and value on the turn that he can still bet on the river. But given the prevalence of all the busted draws, the fact that he can now bet this river, he must have a pretty special hand if he's actually telling the truth. And I don't think he's betting 3-4 all that often. And I don't think he's betting sets hardly ever. Sets would actually be a perfect bluff catcher. So with that in mind, this is a pretty easy bluff catch from our point of view. And he's bluffing a dry card, which bluffing dry cards is totally fine, but in this context his hand has plenty of showdown value, and his hand has some check raise value if he wants to get really creative. Obviously I wouldn't have been betting when I river a hand like this unless I had a really specific read on the player and I was prepared to bet call it off. But yeah, given his exact hand, I think it's a bit of a mistake to bet there. He's got me missing out on club draws. I'm possibly not folding any aces up, even as weak as ace deuce, and I'm probably not folding like 3-4 if I somehow got there with that. So an unnecessary river bet by him, and a relatively easy board analysis whereby we can find plenty of busted draws which we beat, justifying a river call down. We're about to change gears again and focus on the two-handed table that we've got on number 4. I 3-bet this. This is a 3-bet in a heads-up game, obviously. And I miss a c-bet on the flop. Really bad play. He's not going to have a 9 very often or a 3. He lets me get away with it, but just want to emphasize there, you've got to be betting those in a heads-up situation, whether it be 6 max and it's heads-up post-flop or heads-up conventional. On table number 6, you've seen me make a pretty tight fold with deuce 3, 4, 5 under the gun +1, but there are full stacks behind me and there's plenty of other action going on other tables, so it's okay to fold that if you're feeling rather tightly inclined on any given day. You're going to see a slow play go a little bit wrong on me here, but I don't mind it, and I do find a spot where I could have played it a lot better on the river. So he's bet full pot into us. We've got top trips, top kicker, 1 flush card blocker, 1 straight card blocker. It's okay to raise and get it in here. He's never folding any king. You're doing totally fine in terms of equity against Jack-Jack. But it's also okay to slow play because you've got position and he doesn't have that much equity most of the time, especially if he's going and betting full pot. It's a bit weird and he might just be trying to scare you off.